Welcome to 33 Founders, a series about founders of the coolest startups. Brought to you by 33 Voices and hosted by Chase Jennings and Jenna Abdul.
So Watchup is trying to bring the power of video journalism to the emerging screens. And we have started with an iPad app that's featured by Apple and that lets you create and seamlessly watch your daily newscasts out of the world's most trusted news channels.
So you guys recently, with Watchup 2.0, just a couple of weeks ago, introduced the newsreader to the app. And you guys are the first people in the app space completely to be able to watch the news and read the news at the same time. With a component that's as powerful and as common as news, how can you keep people focused on your mission of delivering them video news as well?
Sure. So we, with this patent-pending interface that we came up with and just released with Watchup 2, we're really trying to augment your video news experience. So while video is still like a central part of your experience, we are also, improving that with contextual information, and that's the key. The key is that there are lots of videos that are lacking the context, and there are lots of videos that don't require your full attention. So Watchup as a video news app, period, is, Watchup 1 was perfect for those moments of the day when you're just relaxing or leaning back or even multitasking. Like, we have lots of users who use Watchup while getting ready for the morning or while preparing dinner, etc. Very much like TV. But when you, would just curl up on your couch or, trying to interact more with the device, you don't want to, get stuck with just watching a video. You want to interact more. So by pulling in we call it lasagna design. So we talk in terms of lasagna sheets. So by dragging in this the right panel, you're going to be able to see all the lists of the contextual articles, and that we believe that can just augment your news experience.
So another new addition to the app is custom designed and delivered newscasts for people. With your new update, what was the driving force behind making the shift from people choosing their content?
Right. So we basically found out that the initial interface with what we call the tap and play interface, where basically people would select different videos and queue them up and then watch, was to some a little bit intimidating, or to some other people just too time consuming. Because people today are running all the time, they are in the middle of lots of things. So what they're really looking for is an immediate news experience. And so with this newest update, what we do, and that's actually totally revolutionary, we've built a totally frictionless experience. So as soon as you open the app, your newscast will just start playing. That's just perfect for those moments of the day when you don't really have time. So it's a little bit like a Pandora in that sense. Now, if you do want to be more accurate and more, go a little bit more granular in your news experience, with Watchup 2, you can still, reorder your queue. You can drag down. We have an upper lasagna sheet, and drag down that upper panel and browse per channel. So you can still lean forward and reorder your playlist all while watching. So that's also another difference, that you can do two things at the time. You can watch your video at the same time reorder your queue and find more relevant content.
So did you make this new decision based on user feedback?
On user feedback, on user metrics. And so one thing that we haven't told yet, I cannot release like hard numbers, but I can tell you that the month of July hasn't finished yet, and we have already doubled the number of videos watched a month.
Congratulations.
From June to July. So that was actually on July 23rd. We already had 100% month-to-month increase.
You mentioned that part of it is about how people make decisions, that sometimes when you have so much content, it's difficult to pick and choose, especially in the app space where things are so busy and constantly changing. How do you make important decisions?
As a curator, the decisions we basically take here are, we want channels that are like professional news channels. Okay, so we exclude anything that's like user-generated, low quality, etc. Because people really don't have the time to watch those, and if there is a very good one anyway, it's going to be picked up by a news organization, so we will have it. And then the second thing is that we want news channels to be frequently updated. And the third thing is that it has to be news. Now, we have a pretty broad definition of news, so that encompasses sport news, entertainment news, as well as business news and political news. But we don't have, we don't have the White House channel. We will never have like a political party channel or something that's more like propaganda. We have a wide array of different sensibilities, but we believe in the power of journalism.
Now, for anyone who doesn't know, you guys have been recently getting some wildly positive responses, and you guys were the only startup to be the finalist at South by Southwest Accelerator Awards and the Interactive Awards. And developing an app with those accolades isn't an easy task. So what are some key questions you ask yourself to deliver the best product on the market?
Right. So the South by Southwest thing was really great because it was, as far as we know, the first time that a startup was finalist at both competitions there. So we were very proud of it. And then we spend a lot of time with analyzing the different metrics and the statistics of how the data, how people use the app, but we also spend a lot of time interacting with the users. I think that's there was even a blog post from a marketing expert the other day who was picking up an email that I send personally to every single new user we have on the platform, really to try to establish a personal experience. If you read the reviews of the app, so if you read the reviews of our competitors, there are some guys that they pay to say, oh, this app is great, blah, 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 awesome, fantastic, etc. If you look at the reviews of Watchup, they all look authentic, and those are actually people with whom most of the time, I've had a personal conversation. So it's all about, I think, caring about the user, caring about what the user thinks, what the user believes, what the user does. So it's really something that we learned at Stanford at the D School. So we're trying to put all this design thinking in place, and that's also the shirt that I proudly wear today. Startex is I don't know if you managed to see it, but it's the Stanford the Startup Accelerator, where I was an entrepreneur in residence, and so we did a lot of work there, and we learned a lot about how best how to best listen to the users.
So I want to take a little bit of a selfish moment really fast, and I'm studying journalism, and I know that's been...
Oh, you are?
Yes, it's been your passion, and you're an expert in that field. And
Where?
I wanted to know, at LMU.
Okay.
In Los Angeles. So you're still working right now at the Knight Fellowship at Stanford, right?
No, actually I was working there for the first year I came to the US.
So that was, well, I know that
Recently, but I'm still
Recently.
associated with them. Yeah.
What is for you, being around news all of the time, what defines incredible content?
That's a very good question. So I think that there are two things. So the first is when the journalist really puts a lot of passion into what he or she does. You can feel that, right? When I'm reading a very in-depth article on the New Yorker about crazy investigation that the guy has been going through for the past 3 months, I can really feel that, right? That there's a difference between that and sort of PR press release that some bot or some bot-ish like journalist or so-called journalist has produced. So I think there's a lot in like the passion and the kind of care that really the journalist puts into crafting a good story. And then the second thing is being able to go to the ground, to go on the ground and talk to people and see how that story is felt in local community. Being able to relate that with images, be them like moving pictures or videos or still images, in order to really represent the face of a story. So give the human touch. I think in both cases it's really about the human touch, and it really resonates also with what I was saying before in terms of listening to the user, because we are humans and people often forget this. So in Silicon Valley, many startups are all about technology. Technology is great, but you also need to listen to the humans.
So it's clear that you're a master human, you're a master journalist, you're a master entrepreneur, and you're also a master at partnerships. Recently, you've partnered with huge people, huge players in the media business like Associated Press, PBS NewsHour, and most recently Univision. So what's the most instrumental lesson you've learned forging these relationships?
Frankly speaking, being very patient. Because in order to create a good partnership, you need time. It's so back to the human thing is like establishing a good relationship, pitch your story with your heart, and really explain why you're doing this more than how you're doing it. Although what we are doing, the way we do it, we believe it's elegant and beautiful, etc. But it really all comes to why we're all into this, why we're not, selling, dishwasher soap, or why we are in this industry. And the answer is because we believe in the informative power of journalism. So I've been on the content creation side with Cafe Babel in Europe, which is one of the oldest online-only magazines, still up and running after 13 years. And now I'm on the tech side, but still with that strong mission of trying to give offer the best news experience we can by really adding value to the existing quality work that is done by so many journalists.
I love how you said you need to explain why and not how. That's definitely going to stay with me. You work as a mentor to a lot of startups right now. Is there one coming into play right now that's working on getting their idea out there that you think is really special and going to make a big mark on the world?
I do, and I'm pretty proud of the small contribution I made to them as an advisor. Its name is Pixlee, Pixlee, and it's a pretty revolutionary way for a brand to seamlessly gather and organize and edit all the pictures that their fans post online. So, for instance, they have the 49ers who are one of their clients, and what they do for them is that they have a totally seamless technology that can just pull all the pictures that the 49ers fans have posted on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and etc., and then have them, centralized in one place and organized per keywords and per location. A few months ago, what they did at Stanford for the commencement was basically to set a specific place, so with the geo coordinates and a specific time, and they were able to pull all the pictures that people in that place at Stanford for the commencement had posted.
That's amazing. So it's a little bit like Rebel Mouse, but for photos.
Yeah, sort of that.
So when you're mentoring entrepreneurs, I'm sure you see them struggle with a common issue. Can you identify that, and maybe do you have some advice on how to avoid it or how to address it?
Yeah, I think the most common. So let's see. There are two things. So one is that not everyone is born an entrepreneur. Now, you can become an entrepreneur, or you cannot become an entrepreneur. And there are some people who are not born entrepreneur, but they can become entrepreneurs. Some others who are not born entrepreneurs, and they will never become entrepreneurs, although they have a startup. And the difference is that you are basically, when you are an entrepreneur, so there's a funny story. So if you put, some people at MIT, I think they did that. So if you put a bunch of kids with the same experiment, so you put them, each of them into a room, there is a bin, okay? You give them a piece of like paper, and you tell them, okay, please put that paper into the bin, okay? So 95% of the kids would just take the paper, get close to the bin, throw it in the bin. And then there are like 5% of the kids who get as far as they can and do like this. So these are the entrepreneurs. Right? The entrepreneurs are the ones who are always looking for the funnier thing to do. It's not even about risk; it's having fun, right? And so when I was a kid, I would never. When I saw that study, I thought about me as a kid. I was all the time trying to, do like basketball in the classroom, and my teachers would tell me, "What the hell are you doing?" And so that's the thing. And then the second, so that's not an error. That's more like either human nature, or you can learn how to do it. But not everybody can. It depends. And then the second thing is just to listen to your customers and try to review your mental scheme all the time. So there are phases where you really need to to focus. Get deep on something like crazy, and then there are other moments when you really need to get your head out of the water and try to see the big picture and try to see where is the problem and how I can improve something. So like right now we are of course super happy with how things with the 2.0 version went, but it's not perfect still. So there are still a lot of improvements to do, and we need to take that humility to get back to earth all the time, periodically, and try to assess what we do.
As you build your business right now, and as you've built many in the past, is there a question that you ask yourself every day to stay on task?
Yeah, I think that the question is, am I doing everything I can in order to get to where we want to be? And I think that when you're an entrepreneur, there are no impossible things. Everything is possible. It's only up to us to make it real. And so again, it's all about how then you organize your resources, be them financial, human, etc., in order to get to the goal you want. But you can always do it. It's only a matter of being able to really want it and then execute the strategy in the best way possible.
Now, finally, our last segment is best advice. So, if you could share one piece of advice with all the entrepreneurs who are out there trying to create and design their own apps, what would it be?
Find inspiration in the craziest ways. So I sometimes like going to the museum and look at beautiful pieces of art, and I find inspiration there. Sometimes I go for a walk in the woods, and I find my inspiration there. There's no easy rule, but usually the crazier the better.